Okay, we're going to give it another shot. This is Earl Purdy. I want to welcome you to Facebook Live, A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles. And today we're going to talk about the laws or the rules for happiness, the rules for healing, the rules for happiness, according to the Course in Miracles, which you do not have to agree with. So I will not spend 5 minutes of my class debating or trying to convince anybody of anything whatsoever. I'm not here to convert you. I'm not here to convince you. And I've been doing this 42 years, so I've had a little experience with working with people. And so I would love to be the person that helps you hear what the Course in Miracles is saying. Then it will be up to you whether you want to use it or whether you want to apply it or how you want to deal with it. Because I've seen miracles happen in my life beyond my wildest imagination since I've been using this material. And I've seen it in the lives of people that I have worked with and people that study the Course in Miracles. And I know it works. It absolutely works for those who want to use it. There is more than one path to truth. There is more than one path to God. There is more than one path. There is more than one path. Does that mean there is more than one path? Yes, that means there are more than one path. All right, the Course in Miracles is my path. And the Course in Miracles is a path for some people. It's not the path for everyone. I'm here primarily for the people who want to go deeper into this material and get past the blocks and don't want to fight. They didn't come here to battle. They came here to learn. They came here to change their mind. So we're going to talk about the laws of healing, of happiness. The Course in Miracles says to heal is to end fear and guilt. That all of our problems come from conscious and unconscious fear and guilt. Do you know that one of the main challenges is that people don't realize that their mind is like an iceberg. The little part that's above the water that you see, that you think is you, is just the tip. Most of your consciousness is underneath the water, just like the iceberg. So most people, when they say they know themselves, that means they just know the current concept of themselves that they now hold. When somebody says, well, I know myself. No, you know the latest way you're interpreting yourself to be. That's what you're about to tell me. You know, because you would probably tell me that the person you are now is not the same person that you were 10 years ago. Is that not true? But you thought that was the real one. At that time, you would have sworn that was you. Well, the same thing is true about this one that's sitting in front of me right now. That one's going to also one day you're going to look back and say, wow, that's hard to believe that was me. So we're talking about the rules of ending conflict, the rules of ending fear. It's going to be on page, in the Course in Miracles text, it's going to be on page 553 in the text, chapter 26, which is the transition. I'm in the transition. Are you in the transition? Can you feel that you're in the transition? You know you are. So we're going to do our theme song to get kicked off, to let us get centered. And our theme song is what?
I'm not a victim.
I am not a victim of the world I see. Well, you get a star, young lady. I shall put it right there. Okay. Yes. I'm looking for my apple. Okay.
I'm going to be dancing.
We're here to be sincere, but we're not here to be serious. Don't.
I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of my mom, not a victim of my fault, not a victim of events, circumstance at all. I'm not a victim. Say what? Of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I done to me. Even the good stuff. Yeah. I'm not a victim of the future, not a victim of the past, not a victim of anything that really doesn't last. I'm not a victim, no matter what it looks like, of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I done to me. Oh yeah, the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. Go ahead. We're going to talk about the laws of healing, the laws of love, the laws of happiness. So I would invite you to pay attention to what you're about to hear. If there's a possibility that you would like to have the end of fear, guilt, anxiety, depression, worry, feeling like you're not safe and separate, if you'd like to let go of any form of fear, that's what we're going to talk about. I'm not a victim of the North, I'm not a victim of the South, not a victim of anything. So what comes out my mouth, I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I done to me, including the good stuff. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm a victim now of the world I see. Now remember only this. Remember this. You need not believe the ideas. You need not believe the ideas. You need not believe these ideas. You need not accept these ideas. You don't have to accept these ideas. You do not need to accept these ideas. Some of these ideas you may find hard to believe. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I done to me. Down, 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 down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. If people around are a whole lot of happy people in the circle, it spells cult. It's so funny. It's nothing stranger sometimes than to be around people who are acting like people. You know what I'm saying?
I hate it. No, just kidding. I like it.
So these are the guidelines to the Course in Miracles. If you're here for the first time, these are the rules that come from the Course in Miracles itself. If you're here for the first time, it says these are the attitudes that make reading the Course in Miracles and hearing the Course in Miracles easiest. It says from the book, you need not believe the ideas. Then it says you need not accept the ideas. Nobody's trying to do that. Then it says you need not even welcome the ideas. It's okay if you don't welcome what I'm saying. That's fine. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. What does that mean? That means some of the ideas I say you might have some contraction. You may find it hard to believe. You might, the Course in Miracles is telling us, I'm just telling you that you might actively resist some of the things that the Course in Miracles says. Then it goes on, now I'm going to tell you some of the ideas that the Course in Miracles says you may find hard to believe. Some of the ideas, you might find those ideas hard to believe. Some of the things I say. Some of the ideas you hear may startle you because they're so different from the way you're used to thinking that it might startle you. Then it goes, you're not asked to be a judge. Take the robes off. Take your robes off. All right, you're not here to judge me. Okay? I'm not here for you to judge me. Or even to judge the ideas or analyze the ideas. The Course in Miracles says, if you want to know if what I'm saying is true, use it. If you use it, you'll see that it's true. If you use it. Say, the use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Using it. Not analyzing it, using it. Then the last thing it says is, regardless of your reaction to the ideas, use the ideas. So if you don't like the idea, use it. If you do like the idea, use it. If you don't understand, use it. If you do understand, use it. If you're in a bad mood, use it. If you're in a good mood, use it. No matter how you're feeling, use it. Right? He says nothing more than that is asked. Gravity operates no matter what mood I'm in the morning. He doesn't go, Earl, I think I'll hold you to the ground because you're feeling better today. No. The truth is, gravity works. I don't give a heck what kind of mood you are in the morning. in the Course in Miracles is saying that's the way the truth is. It operates whether you believe it or not. It doesn't need you to make it work. But in your perception, it does need you. If you're going to ever see what I'm talking about, then you have to get involved. So the laws of healing, the Course in Miracles is a law, is a rule. Okay, and healing is the undoing of fear and separation and guilt. Okay, so this is the Course in Miracles. What is this? A Course in Miracles. So we're going to be on page 553. So this is a Course in Miracles. As such, what is it that must be understood? The laws of healing, the rules of happiness, the rules of happiness. Now, we're under the mistaken belief, according to the Course, that we can make ourselves happy and that we can come up with what's going to make us happy and then bound everybody to our will until they do it. I've come up with the script for what's going to make Earl happy. I've assigned each one of you roles that you're supposed to act out. And if you don't act out the role that I've assigned to you, then I get angry. And out of my anger, I try to get you to succumb to my desires. Anybody familiar with that process? Have you used it in the last 48 hours? Probably so, in some area of your life, right? So then the Course in Miracles says, so you got to understand the rules of happiness before the purpose of this course can be accomplished, which is your peace. So and the Course in Miracles defines peace as complete fulfillment. Okay, peace isn't just, oh, there's nothing going on board. It's peaceful. Peace is when you're completely fulfilled from within. You're totally fulfilled. You don't feel like there's anything missing in your experience. As a matter of fact, the thing you experience the most is a profound sense of gratitude. The Course says, whatever you fear, you do not appreciate. You fear me, don't tell me you appreciate me. You do not appreciate me if you're afraid of me, if you don't trust me, if you're looking for me to hurt you in some way. Don't tell me you love me and you don't trust me. And I hear people say that all the time. They in love with somebody, and then they, then they got one of them tags in their britches to follow them around everywhere they go. And then they talk about, I love you, I trust you. You cannot stay in my perception, you cannot stay in denial and study A Course in Miracles. If you need to lie to yourself in order to be happy, you will not study this material, else it won't give you anywhere to hide. You're not as nice as you think you are. And you're nicer than you think you are. So it says, so let's review the principles that we've covered. So what we're going to do now is what? We're going to review the principles that we've covered. Then we're going to take the principles we've covered, and what are we going to do with them? We're going to arrange them in a way that's going to summarize everything that's got to happen for your happiness to be possible. I'm about to summarize everything that has to happen for your peace and happiness and contentment to be possible. I'm about to summarize everything that you need for your happiness to be possible according to A Course in Miracles. Okay? It's because once something is possible, then the Course says it must happen. Once it's really possible, it must happen, right? When it became possible for you to walk, you walked. Yeah. So first of all, you got to believe you having sanity is possible before it can happen. You have to, at some level, believe love and happiness and peace is possible in your life before it happens. So once you think it's possible, it must occur. So what did we just hear in paragraph 1? This is A Course in Miracles. You got to understand the laws of happiness before you can really be happy. We've got to arrange all these principles in such a way that I'm going to summarize to you everything that must happen for you to have the happiness you want. Is that a worthwhile goal?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All sickness, where does all sickness come from? I'm about to tell you where all sickness and pain and fear and lack comes from. It comes from separation. Every problem we think we have in the world, according to the Course in Miracles, which you do not have to believe, is because we feel separate from each other and we feel separate from the divine. and we feel separate from love. And people go, well, I don't. I feel connected to everything. And what's your problem? Then why are you telling me you're unhappy about this and unhappy about that, and you wish this person would change? You're lying to yourself. You don't love everybody. Stop lying to yourself, Purdy. The Course in Miracles says one of my favorite lines. It says, pain is self-deception. Whenever you're in pain, you're lying to yourself about something. You're deceiving yourself about something. You're fooling yourself about something. I went, but then I tried. Then the inner voice said, don't analyze that. Don't analyze that. Just hear what I just said. All your problems are coming from the idea that you think you're separate from love. Not only that, when do you allow your problems to be gone? He says, well, when you deny the separation. So I want everything in my life peaceful, right? So I'm denying my separation from you all. Now, what do you feel like you're one with me or not? That's not my concern. My life is going to reflect how I feel about you, not how you feel about me. My life is going to reflect how I feel about you, not how you feel about me. So it doesn't matter if you trust me to me. It doesn't matter if you feel like I'm a con or scam artist. It simply doesn't matter to me. What matters is that I know I'm not. That's all that matters. And then that I have sense enough to only have friends and partners and relationships who remind me that I deserve love. And that remind me that I'm valuable. You know, I have a voice in my mind that criticizes and condemns me, and it never takes a day off or a break. Y'all know that voice? That joker never gets tired. You're not enough. You're not cute enough. You're ugly. You need to gain weight. You need to lose weight. You need to have more money. You know, I'm sick. Y'all know the voice. Nothing is okay. Everything's got to be different. That voice that's telling you, Hunt, wake up this morning. The Course in Miracles says, we wake up in the morning, and the first thing we decide is how we're going to deceive ourselves again today. And we call it our plan for today. So how am I going to fool myself about who's the creator of my experience again? So the Course in Miracles says, the separation is gone. When is the sickness gone? As soon as the idea that brought the sickness, that the pain is healed. Notice what it said brought the sickness or the pain. It said the idea that brought your pain. Notice it didn't say the virus outside, didn't say the person that mistreated you, didn't say what happened to you in your childhood. It said, no, what is bringing about your unhappiness and your sickness is the ideas that you have. It's the thoughts that you have. And so what do you need to do with the ideas that's causing you to be unhappy? What is it that you need to do with those ideas? Well, the Course in Miracles is so simple. It says, replace it with sanity. Start being sane. Do you know if you just got one thing after another thing after another thing after another thing that you're doing to yourself over and over and over and over again, you know what you really are doing? You're calling for attention. You're calling for love. You're trying to get somebody to hear your yell. It's sort of like if you were in an ocean liner that sank and you was on a raft floating in the ocean and the helicopter was flying overhead looking for you, you'd be doing this. Hey, I'm here. I'm here. That's what you're doing when you're acting a fool. When you're cussing somebody out, when you're judging somebody, when you're blaming somebody, when you're looking for somebody else to make you happy, you're making your life somebody else's responsibility, trying to control others, because the Course in Miracles teaches that a fearful, frightened person is a controlling person because they're scared, so they think that they can control everything and everybody around them. That's how they can be safe. So fear, you get with somebody that's scary and insecure, you know beforehand that you're about to get into a relationship with somebody that's going to try to control you when they feel afraid. You don't have to walk in a relationship acting like you don't know what's going on. You do know what's going on. Are they insecure? Do they constantly need you to validate validate them in order for them to feel good, then you got a full-time job on your hands. Because you're getting ready to have to play that role with them all the time. Because they're insecure. They don't know how valuable they are. So they're going to want you to be the one that makes them aware of it. So I cheat on my spiritual path. You know how I cheat? I only be around people I like. Because by being around people I like, it's easy to appreciate them, it's easy to acknowledge them, it's easy for me to feel happy. When I'm around them, we're on the same page, we're in alignment. They're helping me remember I'm valuable, I'm helping them remember they're valuable. When I feel afraid and I have anger or guilt, they assure me that I deserve love and I deserve to be helped because they see me as a valuable person. People like that do exist because I have relationships with them. So you can't tell me good people don't exist. They are all around me. But I had to earn them in the sense that I had to get rid of the crap in me that kept them from showing up in my life and stop thinking I could be a hell raiser and I'm going to attract all these loving people to me. No, you attract other hell raisers and then you help each other stay in hell. That's what you do. So the Course in Miracles says, now, then he says, read me slowly. So he says, sickness and the idea of sin are seen as consequence and cause. In other words, people think they're sick or unhappy because of something they did, the sins they committed, the crime they committed. So the Course in Miracles says, it looks like our sickness and the ideas that cause our unhappy. He says, it looks like those, that part of you is in a relationship that you're not aware of, that you have thoughts that you're not aware of. And so by hiding your negative, fearful thoughts about yourself, the Course says, then you keep those thoughts hidden so that they can't be, so that you can't use reason to dispel it. See, if you hide what you think, then it's hard for you to dispel a negative thought you don't even know you have. So trying to be positive all the time when it means you're not being authentic about, if you're around new age, new thought people that you can't open your mouth and say anything without them correcting you or fixing you or telling you how you should say it other than how you said it, you're listening to an ego. You're listening to a person that's not awake yet. Because a person that's awake doesn't try to fix anybody. They always ask spirit what they should say, if they should say it. They don't speak without checking in, and they certainly don't correct somebody else who didn't ask their correction. So how can you have honest communication with somebody who will not let you get out what you have to say exactly the way you need to say it without trying to tell you how you should be saying it and trying to fix you as you speak? Okay, so the Course in Miracles is saying you need to realize that every time you feel guilty, this is what is happening at a metaphysical level. I'll say it again. What is conscious? Now, if you say I don't feel guilt, do you ever feel anger? Anger is guilt. They're the same thing. So I don't never feel guilty, but I'm mad most of the day. Okay, then you feel guilt. And so and then we believe if you're a good person, don't we? We believe that if you're a good person, then you feel guilt. That scares us if we feel like we're around somebody that they could do something and then they could do something to hurt you and they didn't feel guilty about it. That makes you a sociopath. What do you mean, no guilt? Right? And so the Course in Miracles says what people don't realize is that whenever you feel guilty, you're asking for punishment from the universe. I'll say it again. Every time you feel guilty, you're asking for punishment to come to you. It may come to you in the form of an illness. It may come to you in the form of a relationship that drives you crazy, a job that drives you crazy, feeling like you're not meeting your spiritual purpose, thinking that you are broke, thinking that you are lonely. Those are all forms of punishment. When a person is feeling guilty, they're telling life, whip my booty. Spank me. So every time somebody does something that they know that they're feeling guilty about doing, You just step back and watch them punish themselves for doing it. Don't you know that's why you don't have to exert vengeance on anybody? You are not going to punish them better than they are. Think about that for a minute. Earl's ego that tries to put him down, that part of him is talking to him when you are not around. It's much more consistent than you are. Even when you're all not around, the critical voice speaks. So I don't have to try to punish you if you're unloving, uncaring, that you don't give. You're going to create people in your life and draw people to you in your life that are exactly like you. And then you're going to say, nobody loves me. Well, everybody around you, they're reflecting the love you're giving to yourself and the love you're allowing yourself to have. So that's why if you wait for everybody else to love you before you do, that's like me standing in front of a mirror expecting it to show a red top when I got a green one on and wondering why the mirror hasn't changed tops, but I'm standing in front of the mirror with a green one. That's you all and me. That's what the Course is saying. Y'all keep expecting your life to change without realizing you got to change the film in the projector. It has nothing to do with the screen. And you all are all focused on the screen. And you don't know you're the projector. So he says, so I'm going to tell you some rules. Number one, if you feel guilty, and it's okay to go to sleep and go unconscious. It doesn't matter to me because the Course has already told me that you're going to do that. It's already told me in the book you're going to go unconscious, especially if you still want to keep going through the hell you've been going through. Because if you want to keep the same thing going that you're going through, all you have to do is not listen to a new way of doing it. So, but how do you do that? Just go unconscious. Because I'm not saying to you what you want to hear. The Course says, most people in the world, when they're asleep, he says what happens is they don't hear any answer that has anything to do with them changing. They're only looking for an answer that you're about to give them that's going to tell them how something in someone outside themselves needs to change. And hopefully change the way they've decided they should change. Not only do I want you to change to make me happy, I want to tell you what kind of change I want you to make. So the Course says, now, guilt asks for punishment, and its request is going to be granted. But not in truth, because love would never punish you. Love would correct you, but love would never punish. A person that loves me is not going to attack me. A person that loves me is not going to attack me. A person that loves me is not going to attack me. If you attack me, I will not think you love me. I will never, ever say ever again a person is loving me who's attacking me and judging me and condemning me. Don't you dare tell me you love me. I will tell you you a lie to your face. You do not love me and attack me. You do not love me and attack me and condemn me and judge me. So in truth, love would never hurt me. But he says, but in this world of shadows, I love this, in this shadow world, he says, built on the idea of sin. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid and I was raised Southern Baptist, the first thing they taught me was I was a sinner. That I came, just by virtue of being born, I had screwed up. I hadn't done nothing. I said, what? Yeah, you born in sin. But then the Course in Miracles go, can I give you another take on that, Brother Purdy? Yes. Sin is insanity. Now, just substitute the word insanity. I was born in insanity. This is an insane world. And anybody who thinks it's not is totally in denial. We would not be having the problems that we're having in our perception if we were acting from any level of sanity and love. So don't tell me we got it figured out and we are always in conflict with each other. We don't have the slightest idea what the real answer is. And everybody thinks they got the answer. So the Course in Miracles says, the Son of God, that means the child of love, perceive what they would see because perception is a wish fulfilled. What? You are seeing what you wish to see. Everything in your life that you're looking at, that's really what you wish to say. You can say you want to see $1 million in your bank account, but what you really want in your bank account is what's in there today. The Course in Miracles is saying, if you really want to know what you really want and what you really believe, it is what you are experiencing and perceiving. You can say anything, but your physical reality is showing you what you really believe about yourself. So sometimes people treat me better than I think I deserve to be treated. So what does that say? It says, I have more loving thoughts about myself than I'm even aware of. It means I care more about myself than I know because I'm attracting people that are kind to me. Y'all with me? Mm-hmm. But if you think you're a nice person and you're surrounded by hellions, you're not as nice as you think you are yet. You know what I'm saying? And so what does that sound like? Well, that sounds like the victim. See, the victim is, I'm this really great person and the world is mistreating me all the time. No, the world is showing you. Do you know what it's showing you? It's showing you your own beliefs about yourself that you don't know you have. So the Course says perception changes because we made perception to take the place of knowledge which never changes. So what are you saying? The truth is you are loved and you are lovable and you deserve to be happy. Your perception changes that. And your perception will go, I don't really think I'm as loved as I should be. I don't really think people care about me as much as I should. Perception changes, knowledge doesn't. What's the truth never changes. So you are loved and guided, and you've always been loved, and you will always be loved, but your perception changes. Have I lost anybody yet? Okay? Then, if a person would just listen to the Course in Miracles, it's the epitome of reason and logic. But it's based on reason and logic that's based in love instead of reason. It says you all have reason and logic that's based on fear, and it makes sense. If I think I'm separate from you and you're separate from me and we got competing interests, then I'm not going to look out for you as much as you're going to look out for me. We're going to be somewhat suspicious and we're going to be separate from each other. That's reason and logic. If I think you're separate from me and I don't know who you are and you're a stranger, then I'm not going to trust you as fast. Then I'm going to look out for my own interest. See, reasoning and logic that's based on separation makes total sense. But so does reason and logic that's based on love and oneness. It goes like this. If you are me and I am you, everything I give to you is what I'm giving to myself. And if I really want to know how lovable I am, I have to see you as lovable because you are me. You see, that's reason too. My love should include all of y'all and not just one or two of y'all who I deem as special based on how well you act out my fantasies and my needs. That's why I'm singling you out. Why did I single you out over everybody else in the room? Well, if I just want the truth from you, one person is as good as another. But if I want something that has to do with the body, then I'm going to pick and choose. That's what he said we do. So every time you're attracted to somebody, they're reminding you of your past in some way. That's why it looks like you go through the same things over and over again. So what does a brilliant person get to the point that they're doing and they know they're on their spiritual path? A brilliant person, as soon as they feel an attraction to somebody and they've had a pattern of always choosing the wrong person, they go the other way. Oh, I'm attracted to you. Okay, my pattern has just been triggered again. What? I'm attracted to you. My pattern has just been triggered again. Because I'm singling you out based on something about my experiences from the past. And something about my type, right? Everybody heard that thing? Type, right? So as soon as I'm attracted to somebody, I'll say to myself, okay, Purdy, you feeling your attraction to guilt. The Course calls it a misdirected miracle impulse. He said, you want a miracle and you want love, and that'll be the first thing you want. He says, but then it'll become misdirected and it makes you want the body or something about the body or something that the body gives or owns or has. He said, you want love, but you've been programmed to immediately think that's about getting something about the body. And so the Course says that the truth never changes. So you are loved and you'll always be loved. Do you know that? Then it says, but the truth cannot be perceived. You can't see the truth, but you can know it. Sometimes you can't see the love, but you can know the love. Sometimes you can't see your freedom, but you can know your freedom. And anything you see, do you know that anything you see takes a lot of different appearances? Everything right now, I'm looking at you, and it looks like I'm looking at a lot of different appearances. And then the book says, guess what? what is perceived takes many forms. You could also say what you see takes many bodies. What you see takes many bodies. What you see takes many bodies, which he calls forms. And then the Course in Miracles says, none of them mean anything, though. See, your forms don't mean anything. What means something, that body don't mean anything to me. What means something to me is the content that's coming through those bodies. I used to be so into the body, I didn't care if the person had any sense. Matter of fact, I preferred if they didn't. Made it easy to get the body. I love when Donald Trump gave a speech one day and he said, I thought it was so ballsy. He said, I love the poorly educated. He said that to their face. I love the poorly educated. And they took you love me in spite of the fact that I'm poorly educated. But the ego would be going, no, I really literally mean I love the fact that you're poorly educated. So when you wake up, the content becomes more important than the body and the form. But you still don't sacrifice your appreciation of the body, because on this level of consciousness, the mind comes with one. Every one of y'all got a body. So bodies are plentiful. And there's not but basically two physical forms of body. Whether you got all these identities on the inside, the physical body usually is two types. So it's never the body that's important. It's the mind that you're going to be dealing with every day. Okay? Then the Course in Miracles says, but if you start hearing the truth, how meaningless what the world has been trying to teach us doesn't even make any sense to us anymore. The more you start learning what love is, then you going through any kind of suffering or putting yourself through any kind of pain doesn't make sense to you anymore. You won't stand for the stuff that you used to stand for when you start to love yourself. He says, but if what you're going through is kept separate from the truth, if you don't ever hear the truth about what you're doing to yourself when you're in pain, then there's no way to heal the thing that you think you're going through unless somebody tells you the truth, unless somebody gives you the truth. So when you keep something away from the truth, do you know that when you don't tell yourself the truth about something, the Course says, then that problem seems real. See, that pain that you think you're going through in any area of your life, it seems real because you haven't applied the truth to it yet. That lack that you think you might have in some area of your life, it's there because you haven't applied another way of looking at it yet. So when you keep the problem away from the truth, then that's the way you keep it. Now, the Spirit is telling me to ask you this. Is there anything I just said that you want to get any kind of clarification from me about right now? Any question?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you could just repeat the last sentence, if there's anything in your life that you're wanting, you're not seeing the truth?
Yeah, if there's any problem in your life that seems to be recurring, number one, you're feeling guilty about what you're doing. Because the Course teaches that whenever you feel guilty, it's a guarantee you're going to do it over and over again. Okay? And he's saying the reason why you're keeping the problem is that you're keeping it separate from what the answer is. See, as long as I keep the problem, then the truth is I've never applied the real answer to it yet. And if I haven't suffered enough, I will not let myself hear the truth about it. And that's why people go unconscious. They go unconscious because they still want to keep the pattern that they're going through, but they don't know it. They still want to keep the suffering that they're going through, but they don't know it. So the Course in Miracles says to us that was, so did that answer your question? It's like, make it simple. The Course says you should always ask, what is the purpose? What is it for? I want to be with you tonight. What is the purpose? What is it for? I came to this class today. What was your purpose? What did you come for? Okay. Anybody else before I go on? Yes.
Well, I
guess when I heard you say that we're born into insanity,
Mhm.
it also just reminded me somewhere in the text, I'm not sure where, but there is a part where it says only the insane will come here. So the very fact that I chose this incarnation is, I suppose, testament to my insanity.
Right, right. And but the fact that you're doing the Course in Miracles is testament that you want to go beyond your insanity. See, that's how you know when a person is tired of suffering, because they realize they need to become a student and learn another way of looking at things. Somebody trying to teach themselves is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And that's what I see people doing all the time. They take all the truth and they bring it to themselves to determine whether or not it's true. It's like, that's crazy. It was your mind that created the situation you're in right now that you wish were different. So you need a mind that's going to tell you something different than what you believe. You want somebody to tell you something new, and that's what he's saying here. He says the laws of perception are the opposite. Do you know that the laws of perception are the opposite to the truth? So everything we see is just the opposite of the truth. In other words, it looks like you're outside of me, but the truth is you're inside of me. You're inside of my mind. You're not really out there. It looks like I'm the victim of things that can happen to me that I didn't have anything to do with. The truth is, every single solitary thing that happens to me, I ask for it and receive exactly as I've asked. The world tells me I'm a black man in a body named Earl Purdy, and I'm supposed to look at myself that way and deal with all the things I'm told I'm supposed to go through as a black man. So the world is trying to tell me what I am. The truth is, I'm not a body. The truth is, I'm free. The truth is, I'm a spiritual being. The world tells you that love should only be with one person and toward one person. The truth is, love is inclusive, and love includes everybody, and love is equal. Everything we believe, the Course says, is the opposite of what's true. That's why there's so much fear in the world, because we believe what's the opposite of love. Notice how the book is just laying it out. That's what I love about this book. It just lays it out. And he said, and what's true is not true of anything that's not true. And I'm going to say to you again, you are absolutely loved right now. You're being guided right now. There's something trying to help you right now. There's a perfect relationship that's available to you right now. But you need to stop being the one that's choosing them. If you feel an attraction, the first thing you should tell yourself when you feel attraction is, here's my pattern again. Don't go, this must be the one this time because of the feelings that I'm having. You've had that feeling before. It's the same feeling you have when a dog chasing you down the street. It's that fear, right? You see him from across the room. And you go, oh, that was love at first sight. No. That was fear at first sight. The person is probably going to be the best person you've ever been with, is probably going to be one that you watch the relationship build. It didn't start out all on fire. But what happened was there was no rush. And over a period of time, it developed. So probably the best person for you to be in a relationship with is not the one that you jump up and down with, your heart is jumping out of your throat. Okay, that's fear.
Fear you're going to lose it.
Here I go again. And all your relationships with people you've already had relationships with before, and that are just continuing. You learn that one day too. That's another reason why you were so attracted to each other. It wasn't new. Your soul is continuing to learn together. Woo! That's why sometimes you do feel repelled when somebody's attracted to you, because at a soul level, you already know what you've been through with them. But it's usually the one you have the greatest physical attraction to, because you won't get in the lesson. You got to have the cheese for the trap. The body is the cheese. And so what people are concerned about is what kind of shape their cheese is in. Why do you think there's so much emphasis on the way the body looks? Because we know that's the cheese. That's how you attract people who are asleep. You have to dazzle them and hypnotize them, like with the body. That's why getting old sucks. When you're unaware, When you're aware, you know, no matter what your physical body looks like, you're going to look beautiful to the person that loves you. No matter what your body is. I remember I was dating somebody one day. I was in high school. I thought she was just the cutest thing. I was moved, and I had a picture of her and put up on the dresser. And my sister came in the room and she turned the picture face down. I said, "What's going on?" She said, "She's ugly." She wasn't to me. She honestly wasn't to me because of the way I felt about her. She was beautiful. That's how you pull off the looking beautiful stuff. You pull that off by being innerly beautiful. And at that point, I could be 102 years old walking down the street with a cane, and then women still be going, "Ben, woo! I've never seen a man bent over so sexy like you." Let me hear that bone crunch one more time. Can I swing on your waddle? That's how the Course in Miracles says the world is going to end. It says, if you want to know how the world is going to end, in laughter. So because the world is fear. So the end of the world is the end of your fear. When you feel with joy and you feel with laughter, that's the end of the world. What's the end of a bad relationship? Laughter and joy in a relationship. It isn't necessarily the end of the relationship. It's the end of the crap in the relationship. It's the end of the old relationship. And do you know that it's as easy as two people making a decision they're going to treat each other right? It is not. It don't take years and years and years of therapy and training, even though you do that if you think you need it. Happiness comes from a decision. It comes from a decision. It comes from a decision. If I'm going to have a good relationship with you, all I have to do is say, "Hey, let's you and me use our relationship to recognize who we really are together and help each other get rid of the blocks that keep us from loving ourselves and each other. Let me be in a relationship with you that I'm going to remind you of your value when you forget, and you're going to remind me of my value when I forget, and let's make a vow that we don't ever want to physically attack each other, and if we even feel that kind of feeling coming up, we'll love each other enough to get the hell out of the room and go somewhere else until you calm down, because I never want to be somebody that hurts you, and I know that there's some insane parts of me that are wounded that might make me act in ways that I really don't intend to act. But I want to have enough love for you that I will voluntarily remove myself temporarily before I would hurt you." And that's the decision that we've made. Notice I didn't say, "I'm with you because I want you to take care of me in my old age." I didn't say I was with you so that we could travel around the world together. All those things are cool. It's more important, who am I traveling around the world with than where we go in the world. So the Course in Miracles is saying to us that there's going to be an answer to what you think you're going through right now. And here's the answer. First of all, if it's a real answer, then it always works and it's eternal. So if you are really healed, you never need to be healed but once. The Course says anything you have to be repeatedly healed for was something you never healed in the first place. So if you really heal your relationship problems, y'all don't keep on having problems every week. Then the Course in Miracles says, because this answer that you're about to get is of God, that means the laws of time do not affect its workings. What does that mean, Earl? That means something that comes from God is not at all limited by the rules of man and the rules of the world. It's supernatural. It's beyond what we think is possible. That's how you can tell what real love is, because real love can never be stopped by anything that's happening in the world. What else? The next thing it says to us is that an answer that comes from love, an answer that comes from God, is an answer that's in this world, but it's not part of this world. See, I'm giving you answers from the Course in Miracles about how innocent you are and how you only deserve love. I'm giving you that answer, but that answer isn't part of what the world teaches you. The world doesn't teach you that you're free of sin, that you're free of guilt, that you really deserve to be happy, and all you deserve is love and nothing else but love. So the answer is in the world, but it's not part of the world, and that means it's real. So anything that's opposite of the fearful ideas about things that the world teaches us, the Course says is real. And then where real love dwells is where reality is. So if I'm loving you and you are loving me and we appreciating each other, then I'm finally dealing with something that's real. If it's anything less than that, I'm dealing with some BS and it's not something that's real. So what else do I need to know? And I'm almost at the end of this paragraph. See, I'm just getting warmed up when everybody's about to die. But that's okay. You know, it's like this is good stuff. I'd much rather hear this than the crap we listen to. And the crap conversations we're going to have after this. But we can't wait to get to them. Like chasing at the bit. Let's get. I need some meaninglessness now. You know, we hilarious. We hilarious, man. Then and that's me. That's me, right? That's me. That's me. That's me. Everything I'm looking at is me. And when I'm looking at you, I'm looking at me. And I'm grateful for what I'm looking at. I see you beyond your ego. You don't realize that. I don't just see bodies, I see light, I see colors. It's a whole new meaning to that old statement that I grew up with in the South in a black body, which was I was called a colored man. Now I am. My light is various colors. Your lights are various colors. Do you know your colors change according to whether you're lying or telling the truth? Do you know that when you're angry and fearful, your colors change? So you'll get to the point on your spiritual development that your psychic abilities will grow to the point that nobody can lie to you because they're going to change colors according to how loving and how honest and how real they are. But they'll never know they're full of BS and call for love. Because part of being conscious is that even if you know somebody's trying to hurt you or fool you or deceive you, you still don't attack them. So the person who think they're pulling something over on you don't realize you're completely aware of the game that they're running down, but you're handling it the way a spiritual being would handle it, which is not to attack them, but use that awareness to let you know how best to deal with them. So I'll never try to hurt you when I know you're lying to me. You'll never know that I know it. Because I'm going to treat you the way I would like to be treated, regardless of how you treat me. So this is the last sentence. It says, ideas don't leave their source. So wherever your thoughts are, your thoughts came from you. Whatever your thoughts are, your thinking is coming from you. And so the effects of the way you think just seems to be out there. The effect of the way you think just seems to be out there. But the ideas that you're having are in your mind. Everything that you're feeling and thinking is in your mind. Everything that you're feeling and thinking is in your mind. So what does that mean? Listen to this. What is projected out, right, seems to be external. You seem to be outside of me. You seem to be external and not outside. Then in the Course in Miracles says, what is projected out seems to be external to the mind. What you're looking at doesn't seem like it's outside. You don't realize that it looks like it's outside your mind. So don't you see where your wealth and prosperity and abundance is? If everything you're seeing in your physical world is a projection from what's in your mind, you're not going to be rich until you have rich thoughts in your perception. You're not going to have love until you have love. If it's all being projected from your mind and you're sitting back waiting for it just to happen without you thinking differently, then you are delaying your abundance and you're delaying the right relationships and you're delaying your happiness because it can't be any easier than changing your mind. There is no answer that's easier. If you make the answer you having to change everybody else, when the Republicans change, when the Democrats change, when the independents change, when white folk change, when black folk change, when gay folk change, when straight folk change, as long as you're sitting back, everybody doing that, well then you're completely unconscious and you lost sight of the fact that everything you're seeing out there is a reflection of the thoughts in your mind, and it'll never change as long as you think it's outside yourself. So the Course in Miracles says what is projected out and seems to be external to the mind is not outside the mind at all. What you're looking at is an effect of what's in the mind. So nothing you're looking at is left as source. That means every wonderful, beautiful thought, happening, relationship that you have in your life, that came from you. That came from your thoughts. That came from your beliefs. Not trying to change my beliefs, not me trying to change your beliefs, not trying to get you to do what I want you to do. That happiness came from me choosing to think thoughts that would only bring me joy. But that's not the same as positive thinking. Don't mistake what I'm saying about getting caught up in positive thinking as it's traditionally done. And positive thinking as it's traditionally done is, I feel like crap and I'm going to sweep that under my positive thinking. And the truth is saying, no, be authentic. First of all, be completely honest about how you feel and then bring it to the truth. All right, I'm going to stop right here, do 1 or 2 minutes of a quick recap, and then we're going to go out and do some more meaningless things. Now, can't you just hardly wait to get out there and make some more mistakes? Feel that attraction you're going to go after, even though you've just been told. You've just been told that's your pattern. That's why you're being attracted to them. Then the person goes, what should I do? Talk to them. And don't sit up there trying to be interesting. Be interested. Stop going on dates trying to be interesting. Go on dates trying to be interested. You'll be the one they'll remember. I've gone out with people and they never asked me one question about myself the entire evening. Not one. So what did that tell me? This is a very self-absorbed individual, and I need to be aware of that before I get in a relationship with them. They're trying to impress me, but they're not showing an interest in me. That's where they're going to be in a relationship. Say, I already told you. Anyway, that's what. Don't get me started. This book right here, boy, it's a trip. I'm Earl Purdy. I want to. If you'd like to give, then here's an opportunity. I love you so much. Would you call that light back there for me? Even if it's going to flicker, it's just it's so dark in here. And I have to find out what's making it flicker like that. Thank you, Macon. If you would like to make a financial expression of appreciation, you can go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and you can also use Venmo and Cash App and PayPal and Zelle. All you need is my email address, earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. I'm a full-time teacher. This was my calling 35 years ago, and I've been doing this for 35 years. Trust in spirit, and the people who love me and who I love. So if you'd like to, thank you so much. If you're ready to get down, to have a one-on-one session with me. I have one-on-one sessions that I call clarity sessions. I'm still growing like you're still growing. So a clarity session or any kind of session that you had with me in the past, that doesn't mean that's the exact same interpretation that you would get today. So even if you worked with me before, you might want to consider, is it time to check in? And I'm available for that. They're called clarity sessions. Go to my website, earlpurdy.com. You'll come to the clarity sessions tab, and it will explain my services in detail, and you can self-book a session right from online. Also, I'm a sole purpose astrologer and numerologist. If you like to have that particular service, to see to get a blueprint of the intentions of your soul and coming into this incarnation, then have a session. There's a roadmap that you came here with to make the whole journey easier. You grew up in a culture that taught you not to trust psychic or intuitive or inner awareness. You grew up in a culture that taught you to only be left brain. Just be in your reason and logic area, and most of all, be so stupid that you think something isn't real unless you see it or you agree with it. So I'm telling you that there's easier ways to get guidance and information for an open mind. If you got an open mind, you can get information that'll knock your socks off. So I'm available. Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time on Facebook on the Earl Purdy page. We do A Course in Miracles Facebook Live. You can come in person. You can come in person here in Denver at 1555 Race Street. I'm so glad to see y'all here today. It really feels good. It really feels good. Then on Thursdays, I do Hardcore Course in Miracles. That's on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook. That class is especially for people who are studying the course. And they just want to take advantage of somebody that's been obsessed with it for 42 years to help their journey. So notice how when we went through that together, it didn't sound so abstract and hard to understand. That's what's so funny, because it's just reason and logic, but it's based on love and not on fear. So take a breath right quick. Give me a minute, and then we'll be able to run out of here. Okay. Say, how many of you all are going through the dark night of the soul? It's time for you to get through to the other side. It's cold, cold, cold. So I want you to remember the next time you feel guilty, that guilt is asking for punishment. Don't do that to yourself. Guilt is asking for punishment. Don't do it to yourself. Feeling guilty is asking for punishment. Ask your mistakes to be corrected at the source. Ask your mistakes to be corrected at the source. Every problem that you have comes from separation. Every problem that you have comes from thinking that you're different and separate from your source. As long as you think you're on your own, as long as you think it's up to you by yourself, the Course defines that as an atheist. An atheist is somebody who thinks they're alone, that they got to do it all by themselves, that they got to figure it out. That's the person that's an atheist. That just simply means they've forgotten that they're connected to God and connected to Source, and you're not alone. You're connected to God, you're connected to Source, you are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. But you have to learn how to communicate with your higher self one more time. You have to get rid of the blocks, which are the things you learned in the past. If you're unhappy right now, if you're unhappy in any area of your life right now, I'd like you to say this to yourself silently. Say this. I hope that I am wrong. 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 If you feel bad, if you feel afraid in any area of your life, if you think that you got an insurmountable problem in any area of your life, tell yourself, I hope that I am wrong. Say what? I hope that I am wrong. I want to see it another way. I hope that I am wrong. I want to see it another way. There is another way. There is another way. Tell yourself, tell yourself, tell yourself, tell yourself. There's another way of looking at the world. There's another way of looking at this. There's another way of looking at this. There's another way of looking at this. You know the situation. There's another way of looking at it. Tell yourself there's another way of looking at it. The thing that's got you worried. The thing that's got you unhappy. Tell yourself there's another way to look at it. There's another way to look at it. There's another way to look at your relationships. There is another way of looking at your job. There is another way of looking at truth and God. There is another way of looking at yourself. Tell yourself, I am entitled to miracles. Say it to yourself, I am entitled to miracles. Claim it for yourself. I am entitled to miracles. You notice that I'm doing what I'm saying. That's how sincere I am about having to change. I'll go beyond my bashfulness, my self-consciousness to say exactly what I'm being told to say. And the Course in Miracles told me to say that I am entitled to miracles. And I'll say it for you. You are entitled to miracles. That was John Christmas at johnChristmas.com. You're going to get that music. It's free to download. Mighty Companions, thank you for coming. I appreciate you so much. May the Course be with you. Can we give it up to each other? Come on, you did it. You did it. You did it. Let's give each other the kind of enthusiasm we'd like to have. Let's try it one more time. Let's give it up for each other. Yeah. Yeah. Your world is not going to be any more excited about you than you are. Hugs are available. Thank you, Mighty Companions. Love you.